team, Katie here from Equestrian Movement, and today I want to talk about one of the things that we've been working on with some of our students that are doing more of the rehab work with their horses, and that is giving your horse time and space to feel into their body and experience it when it feels good. So I don't know about you, but anybody who has a long-term injury that they've had to rehab through, it can be really scary trying to use your body if you're not confident in it being pain-free, and if you're not confident in the use of your body not making the pain worse. And so when we're looking at our horses that have pain-related issues when being ridden, it's really the riding process that has created those pain-related issues. Asking our horse into a frame before they're ready, asking them to tuck their nose behind the bit and work behind the vertical, asking them to engage falsely their hindquarters so they just rotate their pelvis instead of shifting balance into it, working them on the forehand, all of these high concussive things that are detrimental to the horse's posture and their ability to carry us. Even just their weight bearing capacity can put a lot of strain on their lower back. And so quite often when we're rehabbing the horses, there's a lot of fear around the pain that the work we're actually doing is going to create within them, but also that the work that we're doing is going to make them worse and make them structurally less sound. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to set our horse's posture, and then we're asking them to move. So set them in a posture that feels good to them, let them move, and then let them move and feel into their body. We're going to be doing this with free lunging. We don't want the rider on the horse's back when they're feeling into their body and they're feeling that movement. We're going to allow them to express their movement through their body, and then we're going to bring them back and we're going to reset that posture. So when we're asking our horses to work, we want them to work in a combination of relaxation plus effort. And there's a lot of people that don't know how to do this themselves. Sometimes I struggle with doing it myself. But really what we're looking at is the activation of the diaphragm. So if we can get the horse's diaphragm active and online, then we have the best case of their spine engaging correctly and that they're breathing correctly. So the activation of the diaphragm allows for quality breathing, and the quality breathing shifts them into that state of active relaxation. Active relaxation is hands down the most challenging mind place that we need to get our horses into, particularly because we often don't know how to do it ourselves. So how can we coach our horse to do it? So quite often, we'll use tools to activate our horse, we might use a flag to spook them into responsivity, and then we're getting reaction, and then we're trying to control the reaction and getting reaction, and then trying to control the action. And so not all the muscles fire at the same time, not all of the brain fires at the same time, not all of the nervous system fires at the same time. And so if we're getting responsivity by spooking it from our horse, then we're activating that flight response within the horse. And so the nervous system and the pathways activated by that flight response are your flight muscles, your muscles that are primed to run away from the threat. And so those muscles aren't good for sound posture that's going to sustain your horse's soundness over an extended period of time. What we're looking at doing is we want energy up into effort output and energy down into relaxation. And so even as the rider and the handler, we might need to play within our capacity there, right? Is that the longer that you are working with the horses, the more comfortable you are with that energy up and being able to regulate it. Same with the horse. Part of their learning requirements is how they're going to bring their energy up into effort output with self-regulation, so that they're not going to blow out the top with the tension and just mentally implode on us. We're creating that emotional and mental agility That's like building, a slight amount of tension, because we need tension for effort output. Our horses aren't lying down sleeping, but we're going to create a little bit of tension and stretch them into effort output, and then bring them back into relaxation, and then a little bit of effort output and then relaxation. So if we're not going to use our flags to get that startle response, one of our other options that we have is our treat training. And so then they're motivated to participate in the activity and bring their energy up and their effort up to earn the treat. Not all horses are motivated by treats though. So what you're looking for, and this is the purpose of our holistic horse handling program, is just like playing in that space there with your horse. Is like, how are you going to bring your horse up into effort output so that they can have relaxation and effort, to get relaxation and swing in the saddle and use their body effectively and efficiently for good posture. So for example, the way that my horse likes to work, he doesn't work great with treat training because he can get frustrated with the withholding of the treat and irritated. He needs like short periods of training with nice spaces of quiet in between to kind of process the ask and move into the next ask. So the way that I bring him into work is we start with relaxation and our connection work together, just kind of loving on each other and grooming each other. And then I'm going to bring his energy up through play. And one of the games that he really enjoys playing is kicking a ball around. And so we're going to upregulate his energy into play by kicking the ball around, and then we can focus that into periods of applied focus and attention for work. And so, as I said, his attention span, he doesn't process multiple inputs well. And when you start putting multiple inputs in, he starts to get really irritated and frustrated, and we can start to see him moving towards more aggressive behaviors, because that's kind of like the personality quadrant that he sits into. And so what we need to do is we need to give him the ask, and then we need to give him the space to process and to say that he's ready for the next ask. And that's our best chance of having that cooperation from him. And one of the best tools that I found for that was actually putting the communication buttons out. He had a button that said stop and a button that said ready, because I was missing those subtle cues from him. And that can happen when you don't know the horse very well. So at the beginning, I didn't know his body language cues very well, and I was missing these, hey, I need a break, I need to process what you've asked me, cues from him. Putting the buttons out, and the top button says stop and the bottom button says ready. When he presses the top button stop, we're just doing connection behaviors, so loving on each other. Generally what it looks like is just him licking me, and he's just drooling everywhere. And then when he's done that, he will push the ready button, and he's ready to go into work and to do some reward earning behaviors. And then he'll come back and he'll press stop when he needs a break and he needs to do that connection work. So we're going to structure it so that he can have a break, he can process, and then he's ready to go again. Alongside that, we're going to try and create task achievement within the activities, and he needs a lot of clarity in the behavior that is being asked of him as well. So being very strategic and intentional in how I'm going to guide him into what behavior I want, and then giving him an immense sense of task achievement for giving me that behavior. And so we're giving the horse the ability to feel good within their body in training. It's quite often the thing that is missed in training most, is that we're pushing and pressuring and contorting our horses into this physical expression of what we think is aesthetically pleasing. But really what we want is we want congruence with our horse. We want our horse's internal mental state in alignment with the physical behaviors, and part of that is letting your horse feel into their body and feel what feels good and using their body, rather than telling them how to use their body and micromanaging that physical behavior and physical response from what you're asking of them. So that's it for me from today. Until next time, happy trails. you.